Find the standard deviation. Find the standard deviation for the given sample data. Include appropriate units such as minutes in your results. Super Bowl ages listed below are the ages of the 11 players. So the ages go from 41, 24, 30, 31, 32, 29, 25, 26, 26, 25, and 30. For this example, we're going to use the shortcut method to find the standard deviation. So we're going to make two columns. Well, the first column is going to represent the Super Bowl ages, and we're going to call that X. And then in this column, we're going to take the value of that X and then we're going to square it. So we're going to list the Super Bowl ages. So we have 41, 24, 30, 31, 32, 29, 25, 26, 26, 25, and then 30. So we're putting all those values into the table. Now what we want to do is we want to add all these up and find the sum of those values. So in this column, we're going to find the sum of the ages. So if we add 41 all the way to 30, we get the sum of the ages to be 319. Now in the second column, what we're going to do is we're going to take each individual age and then square it. So if we take 41 squared, we get 1681. If we take 24 and square it, we get 576. If we take 30 and square it, we get 900. If we take 31 to square it, we get 961. 32 square that, we get 1024. Square 29, we're going to square that to get 841. 25 squared is 625. 26 squared is 676. Again, 676. We know 25 squared again is 625. And we know that 30 squared is 900. So in this column, what we want to do is we want to be able to then find the sum of x squared. So we're going to find the sum of x squared. We're going to add up all those numbers, and we get a total of 9,485. So now what we got to do is we need to be able to use our formula. Okay, so in order to use our formula, we first need to identify some things. We need to find out what n is. Well, we know n is the amount of football players that we have in our set. So we know that there are 11 players. Therefore, n is equal to 11. So we need to know that number. We found that the sum of the x values was 319. And we found the sum of the x squared values is 9,485. Okay, so now what we want to do is the following. Okay, we are going to now use the formula. So here's the shortcut formula. S is going to equal the square root of the value of n times the sum of the ages squared minus the sum of the ages and then squaring that times the value of n divided by the value of n times n minus 1. So let's go ahead and fill in our information. Okay, so filling in our information, we know that n is 11 times the sum, so let's go ahead and apply that here. So we know that n is equal to 11, so all the n's are 11. We know that the sum of x squared is equal to 9,485, and we know the sum of the ages is 319, and we want to square that. So if we do this piece by piece, we get the following. So if we take 11 and multiply it by 9,485, we get 104,335 minus, if we square 319, we get 101,761. And if we take 11 and multiply it by 11 minus 1, which is 10, we get 110. Okay, so when we subtract, we get 2574 in the numerator divided by 110 in the denominator. If we take the square root of that value, then we get 4.837. Rounding it to one decimal place, then we get the standard deviation to be 4.8. Therefore, we would say the following. We would say that the standard deviation is S, which is equal to 4.8 years. Now, this is the sample standard deviation, so you want to make sure you're showing your work and writing down the necessary variables. So S is going to equal 4.8 years. Therefore, there's the standard deviation.